So I'm going to go to slide 2, and I'm going to click on my Mayflower here. So now I'm going to add animation to it. So I go to my ribbon at the top. You'll see it says Home, then Insert, Design, and Animations. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Custom Animations. I'm going to click on it. Now, since I clicked on the ship, this Add Effect is now available to me. If you haven't clicked on the Mayflower, then this is not available. I could be clicking on even the title and the Add Effect would be there. But what we're going to do is we're going to add just an effect to the Mayflower itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Add Effect, and then I'm going to make it, you can go to Entrance, the way it comes in. You can go to Emphasis, to Exit, to Leave, and then Motion Paths. So we're going to have a little fun. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Motion Paths. If Wave is not one of your selections here, what you can do is go to More Motion Paths, and as you can see, there are a lot of different motion paths that you can choose from. Okay, and where you can find Wave is under Lines and Curves. It's right here. It's right above the word Special. So I'm going to click on it, and when I click on it, it'll kind of show a little preview. Right there it is. So I'm going to click OK. And when I do that, you'll see you'll have your motion path show up right here. Now right now it's showing that it ends. So you'll see where it starts. It starts right here in the middle of the slide, or in the middle of the picture, and then it ends right here on the slide. Well, we actually want to make this so it goes further across. So I'm going to click on the end point here. So now that your motion path is selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch it all the way across, and I'm just going to keep on going, and I'm just going to keep on stretching all the way across. I want it to get out of there. All right. Now, when I do a preview, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it play with all this still on here. So right here at the bottom, you can push play, and there you go. Now, if I was on that ship, I might be a little sick. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to slow it down. Now I can go and do it right here, and I can slow it down like this, and it'll show. Now that's still a little rougher seas, so I'm going to go very slow. There we go. Now it's a little bit slower. Now what I also want to do is, it's still kind of a bumpy ride. I really want to exaggerate that it's going up and down on waves. So I'm just stretching my waves by these points here. Now I'm going to play it. Now you can see it going. But as you can see, it's still very fast. So how do we make it so that we can make it even slower than what it is right now? Well, under here, under Modify Wave, you'll see you got different ways you can start the modification. So, or start the action. Well, I can do it on click with the previous. So as soon as the PowerPoint as soon as the slide open, it'll go. Or after previous, which again, when the slideshow opens, if I have any other actions on it, then it would go right after that. So what I'm going to do is just keep it on the click for now, on click. And then you go to path. Well, the path is fine. I'm going to leave it the way it is. Then the speed says very slow. Well, there aren't any other options. So how exactly am I going to change this? Well, there's a simple way of doing this. What we do is right here there's a down arrow. You'll see that it shows a 1, and the 1 refers to right here, your shape that or your text box or whatever that refers to that you're doing it with. And there's a down arrow. Well, when I click on this down arrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to where it shows Advanced Timeline. And when I do that, you'll see there is this orange rectangle. Well, that really shows me that it starts at 0. If you have it on, it shows it starts at 0 and ends in 5 seconds. Well, I could actually move this so it starts when it comes open. I can leave it open for 1 second before the action starts, but we're going to keep it at 0 seconds, and it ends at 5 seconds. Well, if I move this arrow, you'll see it's a split arrow. Well, now if I move it right to the end, you'll see it's a split arrow with 2 lines now, 2 parallel lines. Okay, so when you get those 2 parallel lines, what I'm going to do is click on it and then stretch this, and I'm actually going to make it so it goes 15 seconds. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it. Now look how slow it goes. Now it's really going slow across my slide. You can see it's showing the whole time. Now, if you didn't really see what I used here, I'm going to go to the end here, 15 seconds. I'm using my timeline down here. What it is you have a split arrow when you're right on the orange box. As you get over the last line that's on that rectangle, it is a split arrow with two lines. Okay, there are parallel lines. So that allows you to then manipulate this so you can change the timing. If you didn't like how slow it went, you can change it to 12 seconds. You can mess with it. I would say anything above 10 seconds would be plenty, because as you can see, that's plenty fast. Now, I don't mind going over the words. It doesn't stay over the words. And that's another thing, when you have pictures, you always want to make sure that they don't cover up anything of importance. Okay? Now also, we kind of saw in this down arrow there were these other options. Here's effects options. It'll pop up a window and you can do different things here after animation. So there's all this kind of stuff, timing, and we're going to get into more of this later on in text animation. Okay? And again, this is stuff that you can play with. I would right now complete this activity before doing all this. Make sure it's done before the due date. Okay? Now, so we've got this slide done for now. It's not finished. We still have a lot of stuff to do. So I'm going to Control S it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my land one. Again, I'm going to add an animation to this. Now it should be an animation to all of them. You've grouped them, so it will come in all at once. So this time what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do a motion path. I'm just going to do an entrance. And your choice. You can choose whatever you want. Maybe I want it to come in as a boomerang, so I click on boomerang. There it goes. Again, it came in pretty quick, so maybe I want to change this up so that it comes in medium, a little bit slower. There we go. So you can see the animation just clear as can be. So I got that one done. So I'm going to go Control S. Again, you get to choose. And that's what we're going to do on all these different animations. I'm just going to click on them. And then I'm going to choose an animation, my entrance. And then what I'm going to do is I might just have this come in as stripes. Or a strip, I mean. Actually, I don't like that one, so I'm actually going to change that one. So how do you change an animation? Well, there's different ways that you can do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, right now I've clicked on this, and now you see the word change is right there. So I'm going to change it from entrance, and I'm going to make it into, I'd rather it be like random bars. There we go. So it comes in like that. Okay, so it comes in. Again, maybe I don't want it very fast. Maybe I want to go medium. So it shows up like that. I like that a lot better. Then I'm going to save it again. Maybe you want to get really creative. Maybe you want to exit. That's up to you. However many. You can put several animations on this. So let's say I go to here. I click on it again. It says Add Effect. Now if I click on the one, that's where it shows it's orange and it's selected here, and that's change. But if I click on the picture again, now it's blue up here. This isn't selected, and I can add an effect. So I can make it exit, maybe checkerboard. So it shows that. So when I play this, it comes in and then it leaves. So you can do something like that. I'm not going to really do that. Let's say I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is click on where it says the 2, because that's my second animation. And I'm going to click on remove right here. So I'm going to get rid of it. I can also do it right here. I can click on the down arrow on that and then go to remove and gets rid of it. So again, I've done something new, so I'm going to save it. The Horn of Plenty. Again, I'm going to add an effect to it. I'm just going to have it come in as, well, let's do an emphasis. I'm going to do an emphasis on this. Maybe grow and shrink. Let's see what happens. So it grows and then it goes back down. So we'll play it, and then at the end of it, it goes right back down. So it's an emphasis. I'm okay with that. So I'm going to Control S it. Then my friends one, I'm going to go ahead and do an effect. This is going to be a multi-layer effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go entrance. Well, maybe I just want it nothing fancy. I'm just going to make it ascend so it comes in. I'm okay with the speed. Now remember, we have the sun, and I'm using my scroll bar to get to it, here at the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add an effect. This is going to be the second effect that happens. And what I'm going to do is make it a motion path. And let's just go to more motion paths. And let's go to arc. Now I have the arc. So the arc can actually be found, if we're looking here, it says arc up, which is right under lines and curves. And it's arc up. So I'm going to click on it and click OK. Now if we notice on our arc, it's actually going the wrong way. We want it to go this way, and the reason I put it on this side is because remember, the sun rises in the east and settles in the west. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my arrow right here, my red arrow. As you can see, there should be 3 knobs here. If not, you may have to make this a little bit larger so you can see them more clearly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this middle knob on the red one, and I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to move it all the way to the other side of the slide, and I'm going to see where it ended at. I might even move it even further. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase this so it goes all the way to the top here. And if you want to make it so the arc has more of an arc to it, you can make it come in like this. I'm going to kind of flatten it out just a little bit, because I really don't want it to cover a lot of my first picture when it comes in. So let's kind of preview it, see what it looks like. So there comes that, then comes my sun. Now as you see, the sun came in a little fast, so right now I've got this selected. This one's selected, so I'm going to make it so it comes in very slow. Now let's watch and see. There we go, so it comes in and it goes out. So something just a little bit neat that you can play with and do that. Now, let's talk about changing the time. So what I'm going to do is on this picture, I'm going to change the time on this when it comes in. Instead of start on the click, I'm going to start with previous. So when we open the slide, when the slide comes up, it'll come in immediately. Then I'm going to go to this one with the sun, and instead of on the click, I'm not going to do it with previous because it would come in at the same time as the pilgrims. What I'm going to do is actually have it come in after everything. So now when we play this, in comes that, now comes that. You can see our advanced timeline showing that this pops up, then this pops up. So the advanced timeline is really important to see how it comes in. And I can even stretch this so that it even goes further, that it doesn't start any time sooner. But I'm going to have it start right afterwards. Again, I'm going to save this. Now let's go to here, our last slide. Let's have it so that these come in all at the same time. So I'm going to go add an effect to the people. I'm just going to have them come in. I can choose more effects. As you can see, there are tons of different effects that we can use. The exciting ones are what you guys usually like doing. You like having them come in. I can have them come in at light speed. Boom, right there. Or I can have them fold. They pop up. So I'm going to use the fold on them. And maybe I'm going to slow it down just a bit so they come in. Then on my turkey, I'm going to have the turkey come in. We'll have them fly in. I don't like that one. I really don't. So I'm going to change that one. I'm going to go to entrance, more effects. Let's do something fun. Let's go light speed. Alright, so we got it coming in. Now, let's change the timing. I want this to come in with previous, and I want this to come in with previous. So they'll actually come in at the same time. Just a little bit slower, so maybe I'm going to slow him down just a little bit. So let's preview it again. There we go. Now, what we're going to do, click off of that, click somewhere in the area. What we're going to do is we're actually going to add another thing to this. We're going to go to Insert. Now, we can go up here at the top. You can add a word art up here, or in Insert, you can go right to word art, and there it is again. So I'm going to add a different thing to it, and maybe I'm going to try this one. It doesn't matter which word art you use. I don't care which one you use, but I'm going to type in happy then Thanksgiving. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it larger. I'm going to make the writing larger. So what I'm going to do is click on that dotted line all the way around. I'm going to go to Home, and I'm going to increase the font size. I'm just simply clicking on that A. As you can see, it's getting larger. Now it's off the slide. Maybe I don't want to do that. Or I could do where I press Enter and I just put it to the bottom. If I really want to make this thing large, oops, I don't want to see how I increased that and it didn't do anything to it. Well, what I have to do is click on the dotted line around it. Now I can increase the font size, and I don't want it that big. And I'm going to move this up so it's more in the middle. And with it still being highlighted, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an effect to it. I'm going to have it enter, and I'm going to have it actually do a little effect called, I think I want it to be, I got to remember what it is. I'm going to have it pinwheel. So it spins in. And I'm going to click OK. This one I'm going to put so that it starts after previous. So now when I play this, and then Happy Thanksgiving. So now you have all your animations, all that for your clip art, your word art, all that kind of stuff.